Hello Flosstube, my name is Mariam, my pronouns are she, her. You may know me as MarroomyCrafts on Instagram, or you may have seen my designs under MarroomyDesigns on Etsy. Welcome to my Flosstube. This is a channel about cross stitch, and that's my cat Asa, who's really excited because he is hunting a fly. So sorry for distractions. I know some of you are a huge fan of him, so he is back. Last episode he was sleeping on my table and he didn't show his face at all, but today it seems like we're gonna see him a lot because he's hunting, so we'll see. Let's hope he doesn't find any fly around this area so he doesn't come this way. Okay, so first, before I talk about the month that's passed, August, I'm gonna quickly mention a couple of things because these are important because they're happening now. I'm hoping to be able to edit this video today, which is Friday, September 1st, and upload it, so you will have time to catch on to these couple of things that I want to mention. The first one, I have a sale going on right now on my Etsy shop. You can find a link below in my link tree. And all my sampler patterns are 20% off through September 4th. The second thing that I want to mention is bird box are on sale today to the public. So if you remember last year, bird box that was put together by Jessie from Mislaid Pages, they collaborated with a few designers and they put together this box. It was fantastic. A lot of people felt left out because they missed out on when it was on sale. So now is your chance for the next time around. This year there will be 6 designers: Jessie, Darling and Whimsy, Dee's 20 Stitches and Uncanny Kari, and Michelle Bendy, and Ano Aguayo from Peruvian Flair, and me. So we're all designing a pattern for the box. The theme is different from last year, and all I can say is I'm super excited. There will be a couple of this time fat quarter fabrics hand dyed by Jessie as usual. Of course, silk is part of the deal, and 6 original patterns that you get, and I'm really excited about what I'm cooking up. I'm working on the design right now, so I'm already excited about that. So take advantage of it. Today is the day. In the past, I think couple weeks, it was on sale only for Patreon members, so I purchased the box myself because I want to have the experience of the buyer as well as the designer, so I purchased the box myself. But today they're on sale to the public, so if you have not had a chance to check out their site, again, I'll link everything below, so go ahead, check it out and get your box because you don't want to miss out, right? It's a great box. Okay, so let's talk about August recap. So what happened during the month of August? So a lot happened during the month of August. It was a great month. It was a great month in terms of not only a stitchy part of it, like a stitching on different things, and I had a release that I'll mention as well, but also the other thing that happened during the month of August was I attended my first ever micro, like tiny, retreat. I met up with 3 other stitchy friends, Julie in Stitches, Nitya from Daybreak Stitchery, and Sarah from ModCross. We met up in the Quad City area, which is like it's a area between Illinois and Iowa. It had like a 4 cities meet. This is like roughly, this area was roughly equal distance for all of us to gather and come together in that area. So we got Airbnb house. We rented a house for one night. We all stayed in. It was fantastic. Because this was like my first retreat-ish like experience, I suggested let's make it like a whole experience, like, right? So we had freebie table, we had brag table, we brought gift for the table, so it was really fun. It was extremely like fun to see. I met Nitya before, and we had adventures before, but it was the first time for me to meet Julie and Sarah, and it was like we known each other forever. Like we have been like old friends for years and years. So it's really fun to get together with your friends and stitch. I mean, we did a little bit of a stitching. Like, let's be honest, we didn't stitch much, but we actually did a lot of chatting and talking about stitchy things. And we had like Julie arrived a day early, so she went to BeStitchMe, which is in Moulin, which is really close to where we were at, and she had some serious damage done. So it was so much fun to sit there and just have a live haul or investment happening in front of us. It was fantastic. And also at night we watched Gary from Gary Stitchery. He was doing this epic multi-episode kid parade. So we watched one of those, like half of one of those. It's like a 3-hour kind of deal, each one of them. So if you have not seen it, like, I suggest. There's so much like enabling, and there's a lot of like envy happening there watching it. But it was fun. It was fun to watch. So we did that. We had a lot of fun doing that. And also we did a little bit of a stitching. We all brought food. We got pizza when we went there. So it was altogether a fantastic experience. So hear it from me. If you have not done anything like this and you know a few stitchy friends around you, this is the best way to, and it didn't actually cost us much. Like it, because there were 4 of us, we were renting a place for one night, and we drove there all, and it was really cost effective. And we didn't, like, I mean, I don't know what Julie thinks, because she did some serious investment, but for us who end up going there on a day that BeStitchMe was closed, we didn't really buy anything other than the pizza that we shared and the place we were staying at, and it was like, it turned out really cheap. So I highly recommend this to you. If you have a few stitchy friends around and close by in driving distance, get a place, get together, make it a whole like retreat experience, immerse yourself in that stitchy world all together. And it was like, it's so fun to geek out like on things that you share interest in a way that few of us can do in our real life, let's be honest. Like getting excited over how silk feels or how you know, that just looking at beautiful fabrics, or discovering new patterns that you have not known about at all, or searching for that like little obscure, you know, designer that is not out of print, and you find the pattern in discount bin. True story, by the way. We're gonna talk about that later. It's that those are all like experiences that only someone who's really stitchy and enjoys stitching will understand, right? So do something similar. Even if it's one other person that you know that is stitchy and is close by, get together. Have a day, half a day, 2 days, a whole weekend. Depends on how much time you have or how much freedom you have around your schedule. This is perfect, right? And you don't need to spend a lot of money on going to big retreats. Yes, they're fun. I mean, I'm guessing they're fun. I signed up for the cruise. I'm telling you that as someone who signed up for a cruise, a stitchy cruise, and invested some serious money in that. So it is fun. Yeah, do it. So let's talk about what I have done in terms of stitching during the month of August. So August was a super busy month. I was really adamant to finish a model because I wanted to release a pattern before Sampler September, and I am happy to say I did it. Ta-da! Okay, so this is BeWall Sampler 190 by 190. It's stitched on BeStitchMe fabric. It's one of the fabric of the month, but I think it's available on her website. It's sorbet, and I use Sulky 12 weight in black. So the fabric is 20 count, and one strand of Sulky is like, I think it's great coverage, right? Wouldn't you agree? So it's so BeWall is ancient name for bat. Ding 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 ding. There's a bat here. So yes, as you see, I love the spooky season, and it's September, and I know some of you will say, oh, it's not fall yet, but in my heart it is. I'm just willing it through. I know this coming week it will be around 100 here in Chicago, which is a crime. I know. It's September. It should be cold. You know, I need my crisp air. I need that. Even though I don't like pumpkin spice latte, I like to know that it exists and is available. You know, it brings warm and cozy fall feeling, you know. So I'll live for that. So I'm gonna actually make a separate video going over the design and detail. So I'm not gonna spend a lot of time here. I'm gonna just show you a little bit up close. So yeah, this is out now on my Etsy shop, and because it's a sampler, guess what? It's on sale. Yeah, even this is on sale, even though it's like new release, but you know, I put every single sampler on my shop on sale for Sampler September, so take advantage of it. I know that I stitched it in black, but you know, stitch it in all sort of colors. You want to use 100 colors to stitch it, go for it. And this is like the best way to celebrate the spooky season as well, because it's not really obviously spooky, but it does have a really imposing bat in a corner. So yes. Okay, back to other stitchy things. I fully finished an object that is not mine, but I'm going to show it to you because I showed the finish last episode, and that's my mom's first finish of cross stitch. This was her first project, so I decided to frame it for her. So yeah, it's all framed and done. This is one of those like the 6x6 frame that I bought from, I think it was a set of 6 or something like that from Amazon. So it's just has one of those protective things on it. So I just literally just cut it to the size and stuck it to a board and framed it. So here it is. Let's talk about whips. So the other project that I spend majority of my time on is Got Critters by Workbasket. So if you have watched any of my videos, you know that I'm sort of obsessed with Workbasket patterns, and they're out of print. So what do? I start collecting them all. So so this is the first one that I actually started stitching, and this is a Sal with Julie. I'm gonna just put the, I think it's a Workbasket Sal. Workbasket is Stash Sal. It's just right here, this Sal. So with Julie and Stitches, we started this because we both have the pattern. So here it is. So as per usual, I'm doing my own thing. I'm not doing anything, I'm not using anything called for. Okay, so I'm using a combination of cottage garden threads, this beautiful thing, and this, and color and cotton. Right? It's beautiful. And I'm stitching it on 20 count mimosa green. So here we are. Next whip, I worked on my Peppermint Purple Sal, and these were both for Wipgo goals for the month of August. So this one was for the geometric goal. So this is in DMC, one strand of DMC in 820, which is my favorite blue, and I'm stitching it on 16 count Ada. This is unnamed, from Mislaid Pages. So just see. Sorry, the light is really weird because it's like I'm recording on a time that I usually don't record, and the light is really strange at this time. All right. Okay, so those two were my Wipgo goals. And then during the retreat, by the way, I forgot to actually insert the photos and videos that I took, so I'm inserting them here. So during the retreat, one other thing that I like in a lot of retreats happening is exclusive patterns. So I decided to design an exclusive pattern for our mini retreat. I called it Birds of a Feather. It features 4 birds as a border of sunflowers, and in it says birds of a feather flock together, as well as the equivalent in Farsi, which is kabutar ba kabutar, baz ba baz, kunat hamjins ba hamjins parvaz, which literally translate into pigeons stick to other pigeons, hawks stick to hawks, birds of a feather fly together. So yep. So this is an exclusive pattern. So I'm planning on releasing this in sometime in future. It depends on when our next retreat will be. So because I'm planning on continuing with this tradition of designing exclusive patterns for our retreats, hopefully there will be some in future. So next time when we are going to our next one, I'm gonna release this first one. So let me talk about the actual what's in it, because there's a lot of symbolism. As usual, I always overthink everything. So so the border is sunflowers, inspired by Nitya's sunflowers. She had sunflowers in her garden, so that's inspired by her. Also, Sarah has a garden and has a lot of flowers in it, so another person with a lot of flowers. And then the birds are inspired by both Julie's love of bird watching, which if you watch any of her episodes, you see that in the middle of it. Sometimes she reports on her birds and who's hanging around her garden. So, and also my Asan, my little guy's love of bird watching. So I love watching him bird watch. Because of that, so I combined both, two things, flowers as well as birds. Yeah. And I am stitching my model. I mean, this is like a talk about like sad starts, because I'm going to show you how much I stitched majority of the time that I was on this retreat. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? Hold on to your seats. Ta-da! Yes, not even a full, like, do you see? This is like, these are half a stitch. I didn't even make it back. I went all the way this way and then I came back, but halfway through I ran out of thread, and that was it. This is literally like one strand. Like one strand. That's how much I stitched. I mean, at night, and then in the morning I stitch a little bit more, but I stitch on the God's critters, that critters pattern. But at night, when we all like sat down to stitch on this pattern, this is how much I stitched. And this is 18 count XJU design in Grandpa's sleeve, and I am using my own called for threads, which are DMC. Let me show you the palette. Palette is not actually, like, it's not at all me. It has more of a, like, a rustic kind of feel. Ooh, the light is so weird. So yeah, these are the colors. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know when I'm gonna get back to this pattern. Who knows? My guess is whenever I have to release it, then I'll just feel the fire under me and just finish it then. But for now, it's gonna sit there in the back. Then after I finish my model of the Bivas sampler, I had like an urge to start all the things. So I started 3 things. So first I started Stitching Makes Me Happy by NeedleworkWithJim. And I'm stitching on 18 count Picture This Plus in earthen, and I'm using some like random threads that I have in my stash. So I started on tomato. Next I started a project I really wanted to start, which is the ink circles and the least of the fleet. So this is like the smallest of the like set of these shipcloth patterns, and I'm stitching it at 22 count Ada hand dyed by me, and I'm using 2 silky color threads. So this one is Egyptian Nights. So I started from the border. This is one color, like it's variegated. And I'm using 1 strand. So this is these are the colors. So this is the one that I'm using now, and that's Egyptian Night, and this one is Gold Coast. So this is the accent color. So yeah. Lastly, I started with Go On by D and Kari. This was part of the Spring Fling box that came out in March? March. I don't remember. Probably March. It was in the spring. So, and I'm using fabric and thread that came in the box. And here's my start. So I'm just here. Yeah, so that was it in terms of my whips. Now let's talk about plans and what's coming up in the month of September. So I am currently working on a model that I cannot talk about at all or show you at all. And I need to get that done as soon as possible. Hopefully before in the first week of September, so before the end of next week I should finish that so I can send it out. And then I'm also finishing 2 designs, both, I mean, for different causes and for different things. One that I already told you is like my design for Bird Box. I'm super excited about that. It will be a colorful one. I'm branching out. I know this is like, again, monochrome, but I'm branching out. I'm using more colors so in my designs. So this one will be colorful, and I am designing another thing for another event. So that's coming up as well. Both of these, I mean, need to be done in the month of September. So on top of that, there's Wipgo. So Wipgo is brainchild of Jessie Mary Does Stuff. I link her channel down below. So it's like bingo but for whips. So you set up your own board. You can do whatever you like with that. And I set up, instead of like assigning projects to the numbers, what I am doing is I have prompts, and then based on the prompts I use I choose what project I want to work on. I think this is like, so far it has been working out easier and better than last year. Last year was the first year that I actually did Wipgo, so I'm really new to all things, but this year I decided to go with goals with prompts instead, and I find it easier to find something that aligns with my own like natural, like all the goals that I set beside Wipgo. I think that I can overlap those two easier. So considering that, the numbers that were called for month of September were 1 and 15. So number 1 is closest to finish. So I have a dilemma here. 1 is, because there is a must attached to my model, I can say the one that I'm going to work on for this goal is the model, and I have to get that done, so that will be my goal, and I get that done. The other project that I can attach to this goal is Critters, because that's actually is not that far from finish, so technically I can finish that up really easily during the 6 days that I usually assign to finish my Wipgo goals. So I don't know, I'll decide when I sit to stitch tonight. I'm gonna have both and then pick one. That's how I'm gonna do it. The second goal is a difficult whip. So this was something that I really thought about a lot to figure out, what does it mean to me if a whip is difficult? Is it the number of colors? Is it that it's full coverage? Is it that it's like maybe tiny stitching? Is it that, what is it? Is it because it's old? Is it because it's too big or too small? Or what does make a project to be difficult? At this point, I think the project that is most difficult to me, and I have struggled with that before, and I have mentioned it to a few people, I think even I talked about it here on my channel, is Come to the Garden by Teresa Koget. The problem with that pattern is, I don't know what is wrong with that pattern. There is nothing wrong with that pattern. I love that pattern. I love that pattern. I love the palette that I chose for that pattern, because I basically just did my own thing. So instead of that tannish, really prim color palette that that pattern has and called for, I went bright, and I'm stitching it on actually deep, I think, yes, I chose Mystic by Picture This Plus, so it's like a deep blue, and I'm stitching on that. For some reason, however, I cannot get myself to stitch more than a couple days on that pattern. I usually am really good at sticking to a pattern and finishing my goals, whatever that is. But for this one, I'm struggling for whatever reason. I haven't been able to finish even one page, and that was my new year start. And that's really rare for me, like not having the motivation to work on a project that I choose like that. So I count that as a difficult and as a challenge. So I'm gonna see if I plug it in for my Wipgo goal, would that make me want to finish, because I'm really goal oriented. A Capricorn. so taking advantage of my personality, I will say I'm hoping that if I plug it in into Wipgo and it's a goal, then that will make me stitch on it for 6 days in a row, because that, like, I need to finish 6 days stitching on the project for me to be able to tick off that goal. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it will work. Let's see. Let's see if it works. Those were all of my plans. So now let's talk first about a Stitchy Kindness, and then we're gonna go to investments, and then at the end we're gonna wrap it up with some mentions. All right, so let's now talk about a Stitchy Kindness. So as I mentioned, during our retreat, we did everything as is like set up for actual retreat, like bigger retreat. So that means that we had gift exchange, and also we had freebie table. So I also received a package from Jubilee. So this is all of those. So first of all, Sarah gave every one of us one of these little dry flower bunches in Lily's Pool. This is from her garden. Very nice. Nice gift. So I've been holding on to this. I'm planning on taking this to my office, but I've been holding on to this here so I can show it to you first. Okay, so now I can take that. Alright, next, this is from Nitya. So she gave us all like a bunch of threads, classic colorworks, in colors that reminded her of things that are related to all four of us. So this one is Blue Moon, this one is Embers, this one is Wisconsin Woods, this one is Storm Lake Sunrise, this one is Purple Aster, whoop. This one is Macaroni and Cheese, and River Rocks. Oh, we have a visitor. This one is Green Onion, and this one is Prairie Gray. Prairie Grass. So in my eyes, this is not what takes the cake. So we have a visitor. Say hi. Say hi. Hi. Hi, Asa. Hi. So this is what takes the cake. Nitya, the artist that she is, painted all of these bobbins. So now they are essentially I can't cover these with the thread, no. So now these are floss blink, so I can use them in my floss drops. So each one has its own unique design. This one is floral. This beautiful. I'm trying to remember who gave us what. So this is from Julie. It's a pouch. It's a pack of needles. 2 skein from Night Stalker's Calling, which I always wanted to try, so now I can try them. This is gorgeous. This one is Fragile Ego. What a name! And this one is in Embers. And she made us exclusive needle minders. It says Quad City Needle Minders 2023. Yes! She also gave us a set of floss drops. I think this is from the place that Pam and Steph make their own floss drops. I don't know the name of the business, but it's all like wood burnt. And it has this beautiful floss blink. She made us floss drops with her doggies on them. Then Sarah gave us 2 skeins of our favorite colors because, you know, it came up. We asked each other what is the colors, 2 colors that we like, and I gave a 550, of course, and 820. These are my favorite colors. I like deep jewel tones, so Sarah gifted us those. Still, Julie, with more generosity, she made us these little needle books. This is our first attempt, right? For first attempt, this is actually really good. Yeah. Okay, and then I think Nitya gave us this as well. Or is it, was it Nitya? Yes, I think Nitya gave us this as well. So a skein of Daydream. So beautiful. And again, Julie gave all of us a copy of Town work basket. I see a Sal in our future. Julie gave us a piece of fabric too, and this is a gorgeous piece of fabric that, of course, my light does not show you the depth of it. It's like, it's not this pale. It's actually really rich mustard. Yeah. And this is 20 count from Night Stalker Calling, and this is Toast Butterfly. Toast Butterfly. I think Sarah, was it Sarah? No, Nitya gave us this. Yes, Nitya gave us a pattern based on what we all liked. So guess what? There is a black cat. Look at that face. Look at that face. And these are the rest of them. This is from Thistles, and it's Broom Keeps. Oh my god, I need to stitch this little guy. He looks so odd. So these were all things that people like bought, and then there was a freebie table, so we, you know, got stuff that other people finished with. So I got this originally, I think So Nitya brought this. Nitya has stitched it. I know Sarah has stitched it before her. And I know Julie has stitched that, but not this exact pattern from her own pattern. So now I have this, so I can stitch it. Also, I think Nitya left this on the table, so I got this. It's a birth sampler, but you know, there's alphabet, so you can say whatever underneath. So yeah. And then I picked this one as well. Quicker box. I'm not gonna stitch these in like separately. I'm gonna just put them all in the same configuration on one piece, so it looks like a sampler. And then from Shepherd's Bush, this is, what's it called? These are from this is called Hive, and it's from Monthly Musings. And it does come with the buttons, which I think I have left with the working copy. So and then there were some fabrics to pick. I have started tiny stitching, so I picked a couple of 32 pieces. So this was left by, I think, Nitya. So I'm gonna try tiny stitching on this. And then this was, I think Julie brought this one up. And this is 32 count even weave. I think maybe this is like a exclusive, like this is parchment for Garon Stitchery. I think it's Garon Stitchery exclusive. So it's fabric flare, so it's like a printed. So and a small piece of, I think this is like 18 count, and it looks like picture this plus. Okay, but that was not all. When I came back from the retreat, Julie, on her way back, she stopped at her local-ish, I think it's called Witchery Stitchery, and she picked up so many work basket patterns. Witchery Stitchery is not online, and she does everything by hand, and she had apparently a lot of work basket patterns in her discount bin. So I mean, Julie picked up a few for me and generously sent them my way. I mean, the generosity, I mean. So the first one is, this is Barnyard. This one is Quaker Peacock and House. This is Barn Dance. This is Flower Sampler. This is Seasonals. This is Sunflower House. This is Woodlands. This is it. It was a lot, but yeah, so that's all the stitchy goodness, stitchy kindness. Now I'm going to talk about investments, and I had plenty of investments to top that off as well. So first, let's mention Lost in a Stitches. So I was watching her channel, and she mentioned, she's in Canada, and she mentioned a brand of silk that I was not familiar with. It's called SanJoSilk, and this is not actually originally for stitching. This is for machine, what I call, it's sort of like a weaving or knitting kind of situation, but with machines. So they're thin, but they're not DMC thin. the way she described them was that this is like a little thicker than 2 strands of DMC. For me, I like to stitch things with the maximum coverage I can get. So that's actually sounded great to me. I was like, let's give it a shot, and I purchased 2 hanks, and they're a lot. You get a lot. So I purchased 2 hanks of silk from them. So this one, and by the way, so this one is called Mossy. Let me see. So I decided to give it a try and bought 2 hanks of the silk. So these are it comes in different weights. The weight that actually will work for stitching is 30/2. And this is like 100% silk, and this is 50 grams, so it's a lot for stitching. This is a ton. And if you want to take a look at like how thin this is, so this is like, I would say 2 strand, maybe a little more, maybe a little thicker than 2 strand of DMC. And it looks stunning. This looks stunning. So what am I going to do with these? I have 18 counts that I'm going to try these on. Also, I have some hand-dyed 16 count Adas by Jessie from Mislaid Pages that are shrunken to close to 17 count. They're actually more of 17 count now. So I think this will be perfect on that. This is, by the way, I don't have the tag. It doesn't have the name on the tag, which is like a, I don't know. I have to look up the name and figure out what the actual name is. So I think this one was metallic or something like that, or metals. It's all grays. And then this one is, I think, mossy or something like that. This is more of a solid color, but you see how shiny this is? It goes well with my makeup. But look at the color. This is like, I know, and it's so soft. Yeah, if it works well on 18 count, I'm set. This is beautiful. So I got these two, and I bought a whole bunch of these like floss away bags, or equivalent of floss away bags from Amazon that I want to use for my silks, basically. So that's how I'm gonna put these away, put my silks away. From 123 Stitch, I was planning I purchased, I don't know what, I was purchasing something else, and then I came across this. I want to roll with green. This is jalapeno from Fiber on a Whim. Spooky stitching, anyone? So I have 2 sets of fabric of the month from BeStitchMe. So this one is, was this July? Yes, I think this was July, and then I have August too. So this is July. This is, I get 20 count in Color Club, and this is Glacier. I'm thinking about the stitching that work basket pattern that I showed last time, about that is like a whole marine scene in the middle, and there are like ships and stuff. I think I might stitch that on this. And then I get 22 count neutral, and this one is lightly salted, not roasted. It's really slightly mottled. You don't see a lot of it here, but you know, my lighting, my camera. Then I received my August fabric of the month as well. So this one is 22 count in neutral Lunar. This is beautiful. That's another option for that ship thing. Well, we'll see. And then this is Luna Moth, 20 count in color. Oh no, this is a crime. Looks really washed out. This is so experimenty and, you know, icy blue kind of situation. Not this grayish. Ugh. Makes me mad. Then I purchased another piece of banana oil fabric, which are unique. So each one is just one of a kind. And look at this. Of course, you know the drill. Is actually richer and deeper than what you see here. Then I placed an order with one of the favorite places that I shop fabrics from on Etsy, and this is Hand Dyed by Jim. So that's the name of the store, and this is 18 count Davosa in Cauldron. So he actually hand dyed this. It's purple, green, so murky, spooky. Dare I say spooky? Yes, this is spooky season and I am happy. Next, I got a piece of 20 count Lugana in Sunflower, which is this beautiful mustard. Of course, I'm going to stitch 1/1, 1/1 on this. These are all for 1/1. I never stitch over 2. This is Hardanger 22 count in navy. I am planning on restarting something, and this is a candidate for that restart. Then I am, and I got another piece. This one is Hardanger in tobacco. So just to put it in perspective, so this has more green in it. This is more yellow. I love this more. And then I got Hardanger again 22 count in antique blue. That was that. Then for that model that I cannot show you, I bought a few pieces of fabric from a new to me fabric printer on Etsy, and it's called the TheDigiStitchery. This is the card. So the TheDigiStitchery, and these are the pieces that I did not use. So I bought 4 pieces. I can show you only 3. So this is one. Here's another one. And here's the last one. And they're all printed, right? So it's on one side. Then I scored a new find on eBay. So as I have mentioned, and if you have been following my journey at collecting all the work basket things, you know that I have been haunting eBay for new, pop-ups of patterns that people are doing dispatch on, or it's a state sale or whatnot. So I scored this little beauty. So these are all peacocks, and it's called Peacocks. Surprise, surprise. Yeah. Next, for Stitchy for Witchy, which is a hashtag that is going around and is in support of the Witchy Stitcher. I purchased a couple of patterns. I didn't have time to start any of them, but I wanted to participate with at least financially contributing to this effort. So I bought the Poisonous Plants, which that was it the pistachio? No, the jalapeno fabric. Maybe that, or that murky fabric from Jim's shop, right? Right. Then I bought All Hallows Eve. Just look at that face. When we talk about creepy cute, this is what I'm talking about. Just look at that face. Then I got my Ornament, which I don't stitch anything Christmassy, but I'm going to show you one design here. Look at this. This is Sarah from ModCross. Look at this. Isn't he adorable? I'm trying to figure out how I can de-Christmasify this. Maybe if I don't stitch the nose red, so it's not Rudolph. Right? Maybe? I don't know. What do you think? And I got my cross stitch for the, what month is it? October. There are so many actually patterns that I would like to stitch here. One of them is, I'm going to show you a couple of them. Look at this. This is from, I think, a Stitchy Princess. And then this is the Cozy Cabin. Just look at this one. This is so cute and retro, right? Doesn't this give you like a 70s vibe? This one was another one of the patterns that Julie gave me. Honey bunnies. Then I checked out Lindy Stitches video on her new releases. I'm trying to figure out how I can show you these without. Have you seen this collection of black cats? This is the first one. This is the next one. Then there is this. Then there is this. And this. And this. And if you go to her website, you can find a border, so you can stitch all of it in a bell kind of situation, like one long skinny pattern. I'm probably going to just stitch them individually though, but you know, that's an option. Lastly, I'm going to share something that I purchased that is not directly Stitchy related, but for me it is going to be Stitchy related, more of like a designing related. So I was like bombarded by this, algorithm, right? Bombarded by this like ad on Instagram of these card games, and every time they pop up I'm like, I don't know. And then they pop up again. I'm like, I don't know. And then they pop up again. And I don't know, 3rd time, 10th time, 100th time, I was like, let's check it out. So I clicked on the website. It turned out to be actually a great idea. So they're from Eranshahr. I'm gonna just leave the link below, but you can see it here as well. So these are all like so I bought this. So it comes in a really neat box. It's called Iranian Mythical Creatures on the side. And you open it, it's a 52 card set. Just first of all, just look at the quality. And they're actually hefty, and they feel nice in your hand. And they come in all sorts of designs of Iranian mythical creatures. So what am I going to do with this? So there is a game that of course goes with it, and you know, I can play the game, but that's not the point. That's not why I bought this. If you remember, I started a collection this year called The Weird and Wonderful. It's supposed to be of Iranian mythical creatures turned into cross-stitch patterns. And I released 2 patterns. One of a dragon, Fluff the Dragon, and then one of a phoenix, Mellow the Phoenix. And then nothing after that. There was a reason why there was nothing after that. I was fixated on this one pattern I was trying to make work, and it did not come to me. So as a result, I was just stalling and stalling and stalling and stalling. And at some point I was like, you know, should I just give up on this? I don't know. And I felt like trapped. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go from there. So this is now, I think, is my way out of that. I am familiar with majority of these creatures. Actually, some of them were on my list to make into pattern. We have a visitor who's really insistent on being in the middle of everything. Let's see if we can wrap this up. So I decided to use these as prompt. So the way it will work for me is I'm going to pick a card, and then that will be my challenge. So I can turn that card, that design, the card creature on the card into. Sorry, I'm distracted because Asad is literally sitting behind the tripod. Let's see how long you guys last before you tumble down. Oh, it's moving. It's moving. Okay, he's gone. Okay, good. We're good. So yeah, I'm gonna pick a card, and then that will be my challenge to turn this into a design. So wish me luck, because I need it. I love that collection and I want to go back to it. I love designing weird creatures. I love designing animals. So this is something I really, really want to get back to. Okay, so that's it with all the investments, and it was a lot, right? Okay, are you still here? Are you still awake? Let's do new and noteworthy. So these are 3 channels that are noteworthy for different reasons. Some of them are new, some of them are noteworthy. This time around, none of these channels are actually new, but all 3 are noteworthy for different reasons. First, your dopamine dose of the month, I think. Chris Cross Stitch is back. And I saw his face on my feed and I just smiled. I could not help myself. So he is back. If you don't know him, get to know him. I will link him down below. Go check him out. He's fantastic. He has moved. So hopefully now he can get back to stitching and updating us regularly. I need his energy. Like, I'm being serious. I need his energy. Next is Mad Morty and the Brum. Fantastic duo. Comedic, talented, all around fantastic channel. Morty is such I would say intelligent designer, because her designs has so much detail and they look fantastic. So I highly recommend checking them out. Their banter, top notch. Their back and forth, great. You can tell the relationship there, like you can see it there happening, and that's like great. And then all the projects that they work on, just great. So check them out. I link the channel down below. Lastly but not least is Rachel Ray. Rachel Ray Fiber Arts. So this is her second channel. She moved all of her cross stitch fiber, like stitching and all of that, stitching, knitting, all of that, to this channel. And her focus on the main channel will be on diamond painting, and the rest will be here on this channel that I'm going to link below. She is the reason why I started stitching. So she started it all for me. I love her very much. And if you want to watch an epic whip braid, watch her whip braid. It's 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours of whip braid. What are you waiting for? It's just fantastic. Okay, so that's it. I mean, before this turns into a 2.5 hour video, I'm gonna just wrap it up. A reminder, just take advantage of the sale and sign up for Burp Box again, and be kind to yourself. And I hope that as much or as little as you stitch this month is enjoyable to you and it fills your cup. Okay, so take care of yourself. Bye.